Hey, what's going on, guys? Sitting here tonight with Great Royal Sky, you know, up and coming YouTube artist, entrepreneur. Um, we're going to give him a couple questions today and see what his insight is on different things.
What's up, yeah?
What's going on? Okay, now, I'd like to ask you a question. What's your preference on real hair versus fake hair with females?
Look, when it comes to that, yo, to be honest, I'm like team natural. I feel like you have to love yourself before you do anything. You can't be out here just wearing fake hair. Even though it does look good on some people, it is not the best choice for some people. It damages your hair in the long run. And then I feel like you're giving an illusion to a lot of people. Like, if that's like a guy, you feel me, wearing a bodysuit, like, and then when once you get to know him, you found out the fake person. You didn't find out the real person. You feel me? I feel like you should always lead your best interest with being truthful. God made you the way He made you, so that's the way you got to be.
Okay. Well, I would also like to ask you, what is your intake on some of the decisions and things that President Trump is trying to press on America?
See, when it comes to that, I feel like it's a double-edged sword when it comes to him, yeah. Because for one, I feel like he showed people who try to turn a blind eye that racist is still up and going strong, and there's no way of slowing down. And for two, I feel it's like every decision he's making is making it worse for our country, because every other country's gonna take us as a joke, and that's just being real. You can't have a clown, do surgery. You're not gonna let that go down. So I feel it's hurting us in the long run.
Okay. Now, what's your intake? What's your base on young youth in America growing up in poverty homes and situations?
My intake on that, to be truthful, I feel like growing up in poverty, I feel like it's a root way for you to become somebody successful, because it shows you so much that you want to do. You feel me? You're not going to want to be sitting there and just always want to be at the bottom. You're going to want to go to the top. And from you coming from the bottom, you're going to know, like, yo, that's not where you want to be. Once you start being successful, doing everything I do, you're going to want to keep going. You're not going to want to go backwards. Like, so you're going to do everything you can to get out of that hole. Like, that's basically what you're putting. When you come from a poverty area, you're in a hole. No one has your back. It's you versus the world.
How was your situation growing up in life? How was your life affected by America's modern society of poverty-stricken neighborhoods that minorities are forced to come up out of?
You see, like me, like, yo, I'm from Wilkinsburg. You feel me? It's a dangerous place, but I had like a couple good friends. My dad was in the picture. My mom raised me. You feel me? My dad, he showed me things. You feel me? Like, so I have to thank my mom and my dad. You feel me? I had a 2-parent home. It was, that's most what people in my place can say. Most people only grew up with a dad or a mom. I had both. You can be thankful for that. I had older brothers and older siblings that helped show me. You feel me? Like, I can't be like everyone else, but I'm, like my mom and my dad, they were both, afraid for me growing up. You feel me? Especially the era we lived in. You don't never want your kids growing up in that area. That's not something you want. You want your kids, to be able to go outside and play. Like, there was times my mom would call my phone or my dad would come pick me up. Like, it is what it is. Like, but at the same token, I'm thankful for I grew up in that area, because it showed me not to go backwards. You feel me? And it's a gateway for me to do what I got to do to make sure that people that's around me are always going to succeed. Like, going to college, finishing school, my mom and my dad made sure that, you feel me, that's what they do. Most people in, a poverty-stricken area, they don't have that backbone, you feel me? They don't have that person to go back to and be like, okay, I got somebody supporting me. Like, and, I grew up in a poverty-stricken area, but, my mom and my dad, they made sure that that my mindset wasn't my environment, you feel me? So I can't, it is what it is. Like, most people, they do fall, but I succeeded there.
Okay. How has hip hop influenced you in everyday life? How is the music, the trends? How does it influence African American culture?
Yeah, it's a big influence. Hip hop is like one of the the biggest music ways ever. Like it's easy to get in hip hop, and I feel it's like right now it's oversaturated for one, but for two, I feel like if it wasn't for hip hop, we would not be able to express ourselves the way we want to, because I feel like when people come down, they be like, oh yeah, hip hop's this, hip hop's that, you know. At the end of the day, it's about how you take it in.
Okay, do you think that hip hop negatively influences the youth or positively influences the youth?
I feel it's a double, that's a double standard, because it could be positive, because someone could look at that and be like, that's not how I want to be, you feel me? But then some people can look at that and be like, yo, you feel me? I gotta go catch a body, and it's how you take it, like.
Okay. What's your feel on the LBGT being accepted into America and being able to do some of the same things that us as American citizens do?
See, I feel like this is how I feel about that. I feel like they have the rights that we have, but I feel like it's just the same way I feel about Black History Month and everything. I feel when you do that, you're making it different for you, and you're putting it out there for you to be different. Like black.
Do you think it's appropriate to make bathrooms where a LBGT member can use the same bathroom as you, is you being a male and them being in a transition?
This is how I feel about that. During the transition stage, I feel like this is how I feel, to be honest. I don't think it's cool, you feel me? I don't. Only reason I say I don't think it's cool, because that's just asking for trouble, you feel me? Like, because what if that person's just like, some people, they have a way that they don't even feel like it. So if you're just transitioning to escape where you're coming from, you're still gonna have them tendencies to go back, you feel me?
So do you think that people are born into that lifestyle, or that's a choice that they make?
I feel like
as they get older.
I feel like it's both. I feel like you can, be born that way. You feel me? Like, I'm not saying you can't, because I wasn't born that way. You feel me? And I'm not God, but also can, you feel me? There's times, you feel me? Like, I got a friend, you feel me? I ain't gonna say his name, but he even says the reason he's like that is because he's been hurt too many times. So you can be born that way, and you can become that way. You feel me? There's some people, they're tired of being hurt so much that they switch over and go that way. So it can be both in that situation.
Okay. How do you feel about the schools and your kids growing up in school systems where they might be bullied based on how they are interpreted, whether they're what they prefer, their preference?
See, that's
sexually.
That's one thing I am scared of, because I feel like it shouldn't matter. You feel me? Like, if my kids grow up, liking the same sex, like I tell my friends and my family, like, yo, you love who you love, we can't stop that. But it would hurt me deeply to find out, you feel me, that my kids are being bullied on this preference, and that because the way that they carry themselves, you feel me, like it would definitely hurt me. I'm not gonna say it wouldn't, but as a father, you feel me, it's my job to make sure that it's my job to protect them and let them know, like, you feel me, if they do take that route, this is what might happen in today's society.
Okay. We have another question for you here. What is your intake on females with tattoos or without tattoos? Do you think that a tattoo enhances a person's looks, or do you think a tattoo makes you look like you have a healthy lifestyle, or is it just something that people do to be cool?
It could be any of them things. Like to be real, I got tattoos because they express myself. All my tattoos have a meaning. But I feel like people do, have tattoos just to fit in. And sometimes that could be the worst way to do it. But then I also feel like, some people who don't have tattoos, you feel me, that, it's their temple. It's all about how you care about your temple. All my tattoos mean something. I don't have a tattoo that don't mean anything to me. Like, every tattoo has a deep meaning. Like, I have all my siblings on one hand. Family and faith is what I'm big into. Music, you feel me? My birthday, my zodiac sign, the day I was born, my mom's name, who defeated breast cancer. It's all about what I make it, you feel me? At the end of the day, tattoo, it's up to you. I would never force getting tattoos on anyone. I would never, doubt somebody.
Would you ever let your kids get tattoos?
At a rightful age, yeah. You feel me? Not at like the 14, 15, nah. But like, you feel me? Like 16,
Would you
17.
accept your kids' tattoos, or would you tell them what type of tattoos to get?
I would tell my kids straight like this. As long as it's not on the hands or on the face, I'm cool with it. Because especially if you don't know what you're doing in life, If you know you're just finding your way in life, I don't want you getting your hands on your face tattoo. But you feel me? Anywhere from the wrist up, you know, neck down, I'm cool with it. You feel me? I ain't gonna stop it.
Would you ever accept your son having face tattoos?
Nah, that's one thing I can't do. You feel me? I'm not saying, you feel me, I don't want to run my kid's life though. But at the end of the day, you feel me, it's all about his future sake. You feel me? There's people out here like he's not a rapper. You feel me? Especially if he's not a rapper or anything like that. If you still expect to get a job, you feel me? I can see like, you know, like behind the ear, I'm cool with that. But strictly on the face, you know, like nah, I can't respect that.
Okay, now see we're in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a city where a lot of people, young people, preferably have tattoos. You know,
shout out Bill. You know, that's where I got my tattoos at.
What are some of the best artists? Do you know any good artists out here?
I know a couple. You feel me? Like Inky Dinky Doo. You feel me? They did a couple of mine. Bill did a couple. I had a friend named, you know, Eric. You feel me? He just opened up a shop. You know, Tattoo 412, located in Wilkinsburg. You know, he's a dope artist. You feel me? There's a lot of dope artists here. You know, like, but I feel like, you know, the Pittsburgh area is definitely oversaturated in tattoo artists. That's definitely not a lot. There's a tattoo artists popping up everywhere. Like, you know, but I definitely give shout out to, you know, Bill, Inky.
Okay, let's move to the next subject. How do you feel on sports in this town? Are sports very important to this town?
Yeah,
or sports is just something that people do? Or do we have a lot of people that come out of this city that make it to the league?
No, we definitely, that's one thing I can say about this. Like, sports is definitely a big thing in Pittsburgh. You know, like, I graduated from Woodland Hills, me and my boy right here, Stefan. You know, we both went to Woodland Hills, you feel me? Football was definitely a big part of my life growing up there, you feel me? But the city league, you know, like, they do good. But we definitely, I could say, as Pittsburgh, you know, Steeler Nation, Parrot Nation, Penguin Nation, you know, City of the Champions twice, you know, you can't really beat that. But when it comes down to it, you know, I feel like sports is more over academics in this city than anything, you feel me? Because they know, like, coming from poverty-stricken areas, that's what people are falling back on these sports.
Okay. Now we're going to move to a more stricter questions. How do you feel on the drug epidemics that hit inner city youth, you know, as far as the heroin epidemics and different epidemics?
See, I feel like that. I feel like it hit pretty hard. Like I lost 2 friends, you know, to an academic. You feel me? Pills and everything. Like, so.
Do you think that that's a choice, or you think that that's a control?
See, I feel like the people I lost, they were running away from stuff. You feel me? So
You think that's a way out of people's
I feel
situations or emotions?
Yeah, I feel like people use a lot of drugs to get out what they're going. You feel me? I don't feel like they're using them in the best way that they can. I feel like drugs are their way to suppress the pain that they're going through. I don't feel like anyone just wakes up and like, oh, you know, today I'm gonna use heroin. But you know, you hear a lot of stories about, you know, heroin, pills, and everything take away from pain, especially, you know, people who, you know, are going through stuff like, well, you know, their body in general, like breaking bones and stuff, they get addicted to. You feel me? Like, I feel like I wish there was a different way for you to heal without having to take these opioids to get used to. But that's what it is, and that's what happens. Like, you make them so cheap to get, is you can't turn away from it. Like,
okay. What's your favorite car?
Yo, my favorite car, y'all, gonna be on this show, people won't laugh, but it's a Jeep Liberty. I feel like it stands for.
What made you pick that choice?
Nah, Jeep Liberty, yo, because I remember when I was younger, I used to see this dude. He when I lived on the south side, he lived across the street from me and everything, and he had a red Jeep Liberty with all black wheels. And I remember always think like, yo, like Batman and Robin. Robin was my favorite person. I was like, yo, that's the Robin mobile right there, like. And it was just like so big, it felt like, you feel me, it's an American car. Like, you can't get mad about that.
So if you had the amount of money to buy whatever car you wanted, what car would you buy?
If I had any amount of money to buy any, like my dream car is I would have to say my dream car is a Shelby Mustang. You feel me? Red and white.
Shelby Mustang, okay.
It gotta be.
Okay. All right.